What's happening, everybody? It's your man Damon Cunningham, aka Dame D NYDC, and this is Two Mics Up Business Corner, and we're back with a very special conversation. The gentleman that's joining me today, man, he's a leader, he's a visionary, he's really behind a lot of community impact. He's been a guest here before, and we're proud and honored to bring him back today because he's working on, another campaign, which really impacts our community, not just locally, but across several other states, which is really huge. It's really key, and especially in today's age and time with so many things going on. We can go from politics, our social community, and it doesn't matter what color your skin is. This is about humanity, and this is why I'm really honored to bring today's guest back. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and let's welcome our brother and good friend, Winfield Clark Jr. Winfield, how are you doing today, my brother?
I'm truly blessed, man, and blessed to be here. How about yourself?
Hey, no complaints, man, like we were talking about before we got on. And like I said, I'm really honored to have you come back because you have, you put in so much work, in the community, globally with a lot of different uh, programs that you're part of. But I want to start one, just getting back to reintroducing yourself to our audience, Winfield, because you've been here before. But take a moment, let us know who you are and and really what you're all about and what Celestial Manna is really all about.
Absolutely, brother. So before I even talk about Celestial Manna, I'm a Christian husband and father of six. I hail from Southern Maryland, outside of Waldorf. A little bit about me. I'm originally from this area, Maryland and DC. In the last 5 years, my wife and I have really been looking for ways to just give back to the community. And that's definitely a very important value that we hold dear to. And Celestial Manna has given me that opportunity. In my day job, I work in healthcare, in laboratories, figure out how to save money, right, and improve the bottom line. But the way I give back in my spare time is I'm CEO and president of a faith-based nonprofit that's almost 100% volunteer that moves 6 million pounds of food every year across Maryland, DC, Virginia, and Las Vegas.
Wow.
That's a little bit about me. I guess I'm one of those people who just can't take a break and I want to make a difference. And on
Well,
my
look.
spare time, when I'm having fun, I like to travel, Dame. Love to
Hmm.
see the world. Been quite a few places, and I'm still counting. I want to hit every continent before I die. And if I'm not on an airplane somewhere for work or personal, I'm working on my classic car. I've got an 80 Cutlass Supreme.
All right, bro. Okay, listen, man. Look, we need more human beings like yourself. Like I say, you don't know how to take a break, and sometimes we need that. We need the energy and the leadership, like I said, and the vision of people like yourself in our communities to kind of remind us. And this is how I look at it when I listen and I watch you. And as we time has changed, we need people like that to really remind us that what it's not about how big or how visible or how much you're doing, but it reminds us that we too should be taking an active role in not only our lives but everyone else's lives around us. And that's where the impact really comes, in my opinion, from community. When we talk about community, and you are the a living testament to that. And I mean, I really appreciate you sharing that bit of you, and I hope that's what people really hear, because that's what I hear when I hear you speak, brother. So, man, keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully you will touch every continent, because I've seen some of the pictures, man. You guys were in Puerto Rico and some other places, man, really digging into the work, as you said. And
Yes, sir.
I I want to get into that, because like I say, when we talk about leadership and vision, Winfield, as the CEO of Celestial Manor, you've transitioned from COO to leading a 100 plus partner network across 6 states. How has your background, because you mentioned it, your day job, in healthcare, and also with food processing, like how has that helped shape Celestial Manor's organizational strategy?
I tell you what, I don't believe in coincidence, right? There's a book I read
Okay.
that says everything happens for a purpose. But
Okay.
it's funny how well the skill set and things that I learned in corporate America in those different venues translate to what we can do for nonprofit business. Many people think, oh, there's a hard line between nonprofit and for-profit business, the way you think, the way you operate, and the way that you lead. Absolutely not. There's so many best practices and methodologies and ways of thinking that you can take from corporate America and make a dynamite nonprofit organization. And the first thing I did when I set foot in Celestial Manna is I'd asked Charlie, the founder, I said, I want to go see the place. Put me on a road trip. Let me go see some distributions. Let me talk to all the people. Let me see what's going on so I can learn. And I come back to him and I say, Charlie, we got to change this, and you need this, and you need a COO role, and you need this leadership structure and this org chart, and you need change management. He's like, great, you're just the person to do it. Get it going for me. Right? So I think if I could sum it up, right, Dane, there's three big things that I learned in my food processing, and that was operations leadership, in healthcare, continuous improvement leadership, right? Operations there as well is strategic planning, right? Critical skill set, critical mindset, actually, bring over, right? I'm a Lean Six Sigma black belt, all right? So that methodology is all about solving problems, right? But it's solving problems with the respect for people and incorporating people.
That's right.
Huge piece of it. So continuous improvement mindset, and then change management, right? So often in the for-profit and in nonprofit, we focus on the machine side of change, the project itself, dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's and getting the task list done. But we're not focusing on the people side of change and how we move them through the change and keep them along with it. Because trust me, when I came into Celestial Manna and I had my list of here's all the things we need to change, no one was ready to hear that right away, right?
That's right. That's right.
Bring the team along and then build relationships while doing that. Nothing's going to get done fast without incorporating people, respecting them, and building the relationship. So if there's anything I brought over, from that experience, man, I think that kind of sums it up.
I love that because you bring that, right? But like you say, when you introduce it though, you're not ready to slam all three aspects into it, right? And nobody is really ready to take that change right away. It's a company that's been kind of doing their own thing, how they've been doing it, and here these changes come, and eventually, slow process it happens. But listening to it, right? Which one would you say, now that you're in a position where you've kind of seen the change, which one maybe had the best impact that you've seen, that what, hey, we really need to continue to incorporate this and expand this, for our companies now, because you come from the past, but there's still a future that you're still trying to reach. So which one maybe has been the most impactful and that you still see, hey, we still need to expand this a little bit further for our future success?
Oh man, if I had to peg one, because they're so integrated, right?
Right.
It's a great question. Right. I feel like at the center of it all is strategic planning, because strategic planning forces you into the other two, right? It forces you to think about, okay, who are my key stakeholders? Who is going along this journey? That puts you right in the change manager. It forces you to say, how are we going to measure success? What needs to get better by when? Right. Well, there goes the continuous improvement mindset, because then you're going to figure out how to solve that problem. Every time we pulled the board of directors and the leadership team together to say, what are we going to do different next year? How are we going to reach this goal? What do we need to do? We start asking the question, so who are we as an organization again? And what do we stand for? And is our vision still applicable in this day and time and what's going on? And do we still have the right mission? Or have we changed to the point that now our vision and mission, and in the last year, guess what, Dane? We changed all of that.
Yeah. So, and that's why I think it's important to ask that, because I think a lot of times people get stuck. You should be constantly, right? That strategic planning should always be constant, because like you said, it does impact the other areas, I think, that fall in line after that. And I think some business owners, and if you're listening to this, don't get stuck in one mindset. Continuously look at your plan, continuously evolve and try to grow that so that you're always on point. Well, not always, but as best as you can be, as you're continuing to grow your company. And I had to ask, as someone who is the CEO and running the company, I think it's good for others to hear, that. And I thank you for sharing that, Winfield. And with that growth, right? We also look at, I think from what I've learned, and really digging in and from talking to you before, you know, Celestial Manor really emphasizes culture and values, right? And I'm just curious, like, how do you foster like that mission driven environment? Like you said, and we talked about scaling operations, and again, you have a role as a faith based person, and center playing in decision makings at the executive level. So like, how do you really move through all of those pieces, as you're spearheading the work at Celestial Manor?
The thing about vision and mission, right, is keeping it in front of people. And if you're going to keep something in front of me, first of all, I'm a volunteer. I can't give you
Yeah.
all my time. I've got a day job.
Yeah.
I've got several kids. Most of the people that are the superstars on my leadership team are people that are doing 100 other things just like me. They stay busy.
Wow.
People are the best people. I have someone who has
That's
a
right.
whole farm and 7 foster children with a huge heart. And she says, I still want to make time for this. Someone with a traveling job who sings in choirs across the nation and works in operations out in Indiana, but she wants to make time for this, right? People with all types of other things, day jobs, whatever it is, that want to do this. And so to keep them engaged as you scale and to keep them behind the vision and the mission need to be simple, portable, and powerful, right? And it's
Yeah.
got to be tied to a value system and something that everyone can believe in. So that when we sit down and say, and you should be questioning it every time, does this fit our vision? Does this fit our mission? Does this fit our strategic plan? And so as we've been scaling, part of it was, guys, let's revisit the vision and mission, and we rewrote it together, right?
I love that.
And then it was, okay, so here comes our vision. We're going to show the world how faith inspires action toward a profound purpose. That's our vision. This little group, right? Because you have to believe, and it needs to be what they call big BHAG, right? Big, hairy, and audacious in terms of how you set up your goal and your vision, right? Because that's what drives people, right? I mean, that sticks. So we say, well, Nike, just do it, right?
That part.
Sticks with them. And then a mission that says, okay, rooted in faith, we're going to combat food insecurity by rescuing and distributing healthy, nourishing food to anyone in need. The reason why that's in our mission is because that's our niche, right? It's like I can get food and give it to you, but I want to make sure the food is healthy. I want to make sure the food is nourishing. And that's really what sets us apart and why we turn food the same day.
I love that. And I just have to ask, like, just listening to that, because that is an incredible mission. But the maintaining healthy food sources, because I know you're going to have some people that come from a perspective of like, come on, man, you getting you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like, how difficult is it really, one, to really maintain that level of freshness and healthy foods? And what are some of the processes that people who don't really understand behind the scenes that you and Celestial Manor have to go through to really ensure and meet that mantra and meet that mission, for people every day?
First of all, we care about the people we serve. We don't want anyone sick. We don't want anything that we wouldn't put in our mouths and take home to our family and put on the table going to anyone else. And I know that our partners and our donor stores feel the same way. So it's about working together. It's also about educating people on what best by dates are and are not, and what's still acceptable as food. But we take a lot of pride in how much we incorporate food safety into our SOPs, our standard work, and our membership agreements with all of our community partners and churches that say, all right, we want to work with you, right, to stock our pantry. Okay, what's your pantry look like? Is it suitable for these types of donations? What's your refrigeration level? Do you have a chest freezer? How much space do you have? We are in line with and have to comply with FDA regulations in terms of how we handle food and how we distribute it, okay? And we're held accountable for that, not only by our donors, by the FDA itself. So we take it very seriously, and people just need to understand that. At the same time, we're a volunteer organization, right? And this is volunteer work, so we are protected by that. And we tell everyone, regardless of even all the work that we've done to come through and all the work that donor stores have done, check your food. Make sure
Mm,
this is suitable for you. Just like when you go to the grocery store, when you pick it up, what are you doing? You're checking it. You're checking it for the best. Do the same thing.
mm.
Because we
Man, I
don't
mean,
feel like if we're serving people, that means, oh, because you're being served, that you're going to get second rate. No, that's
right.
not what that means. You're going to be served the same quality. You're just
Mm,
getting it that day.
mm.
And that's the
It's
mindset.
it's incredible when I listen, like, because these are the things that we in the community don't really think of. The levels and the degrees that an organization like Celestial Manna really has to go through to
Mhm.
provide this quality service. And you touched on some things, um, like healthcare, the FDA and things like that. But is there any other services, like when it comes to educating people on health, like talking about eating healthy food and reading labels, or educating people, that really Celestial Manna also helps to amplify to others in the community? Because I think that's also key. I mean, we definitely want to make sure people have food to eat, but we also, I would think we want to educate them on how to maintain their own health care, educate them on other services and other ways to improve themselves, while they may be going through that time of need. And does Celestial Manna also play a part when it comes to that?
We do. If you go to our LinkedIn page and our social media, you'll see just constant posts about, here's what you do with this type of food. Here's why this type of food is healthy. Here's some statistics on what this type of food, has done to help people, or what it's done to this community, or the impact that it's made. And then we have testimonies, right? People that can literally say, because I've had access to fresh and organic produce and food, my life has changed. My health is
Mm,
completely turned around. I know some people that were pre-diabetic, that started getting on a whole foods diet, and everything changed for them. So we do everything we can, piece-wise, to educate the communities we serve. Sometimes we put pamphlets, in the things that we deliver. Sometimes we encourage our church partners to hand down information. If we get anything insightful of that nature, we pass it along electronically. So that's how we're working together to increase our knowledge across the board.
I love that, man. That's important, man. And these are the parts that I think I want to try to continue to give a full breath and a full picture of what Celestial Manna does, uh as a full service component organization, not just the food portion, because you guys are really give a wide breadth of services to those in the community. And those of you, who are watching, and if you know someone in need, or you want to find out more, stay tuned, because we're going to provide, Celestial Manna's information. But before we continue this conversation, because we're going to come back and we're going to talk about a very special campaign that Winfield and Celestial Manna is, I believe, is currently happening. But we're going to share that with you all. But we're going to take a short pause for the cause. We want to thank our sponsors here at Two Mics Up for allowing us to be here and have these conversations each and every week with some important people like Winfield and others. So don't go anywhere. We'll catch you on the other side of the break.
94 Media House specializes in transformative digital design that elevates your brand to new heights. Whether you need stunning graphic design, impactful branding, or a captivating web presence, our team is here to bring your vision to life. Join the ranks of successful businesses that trust 94 Media House for their digital design needs. Let's make your brand unforgettable. Contact us today.
Experience unforgettable memories with Riddick Entertainment and Events, the premier event planners in Northern Virginia. We specialize in crafting extraordinary weddings and events tailored to your vision. Led by the husband and wife team of Saeed and Michelle Riddick, we ensure your special day is stress-free and memorable. Don't leave your memories to chance. Let Riddick Entertainment help you create lasting moments. Contact us today to start planning your unforgettable event.
Unleash flavor with Tico Rico hot sauce, made from fresh, homegrown peppers for a vibrant taste. Enjoy the perfect blend of heat and zest with our habanero and refreshing Serrano lime sauces. Ideal for tacos, seafood, or salads, Tico Rico enhances any dish. Join the Tico Rico family today and elevate your meals with our award-winning sauces. Visit us online to grab your starter kit and discover the magic of Tico Rico.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're fresh out the break. We're back with the CEO, Winfield Clark Jr. of Celestial Manna. I mean, great human being, uh, providing his services and support uh, in vision, leading Celestial Manna is really doing so much work and across multiple communities and states. And we're back. And in this segment, I really want to take a moment to thank Riddick Entertainment, one, for providing this segment, but Winfield, I want to talk about this 30-day campaign that it's being launched, and it's really like an emergency funding campaign, if I understand correctly. But please take a moment to talk about it to our audience, because as I understand, it's really aiming to address some critical gaps that we really are maybe missing, and you guys are really spearheading this. So please take a moment to go ahead and talk about the campaign.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Thane. So, we're on a 30-day emergency funding campaign, and that's because the financial state of the organization is at a low, is at jeopardy right now. We run a fleet operation, and this is how we plan to reach 5 different regions across Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. This is a fleet of vehicles that will pick up the food from the grocery stores, refrigerated vehicles, and deliver them to the church partners and community partners directly. This saves tons in greenhouse gases. It takes many church congregation members off the road, and it makes it a lot simpler to get even greater amounts and quality and availability of donations to the communities that we serve. This was one of our key strategies, and we've launched that fleet in one region. But due to reform and changes in the availability of grant funding, we are nearing very close to a point where we won't be able to fund our fleet even in the first region. So we are running an emergency funding campaign so that we can acquire the funds necessary not only to sustain the Southern Maryland DC region of fleet operation, but also to further the mission into the Montgomery County area, into the northern and northwest Maryland and Baltimore areas, into the areas surrounding Pasadena, Fort Meade, because those are some really large areas where we operate and where there's a lot of volume. And so right now we need help being able to sustain the current vision and also expand it on into areas with a great need that we currently serve.
Wow. Oh man. I mean man, that's one of those that's really tough. Like for me, I feel like my head stand up because I is eager one to one how does the community get behind. I mean, obviously we want them to donate, but are there other ways that people in the community, whether they're business owners, entrepreneurs, just everyday human beings, what can we do to help get behind you and help this mission succeed?
Absolutely. Dame, there's nothing more powerful than the word of mouth and utilizing the network nexus, right?
Mm,
Bringing the right people and the right resources together, forming unstoppable coalitions, like-minded people working together, even when funding can't come in, pushing this message out, helping us push this message out to the right people or people who you might know could have an influence here or have a genuine interest in making
mm,
this type of change. That's invaluable.
mm.
That's
Yeah.
invaluable.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, please make sure that do what you can to get out and support, because we are in critical times, as many of us know, and so many of our friends and family are being affected in so many different ways. And this is a resource that is really critical to a lot of people, maybe even every day, that we sometimes some of us take for granted. So if you could find it within yourself to take 5 minutes to share this with your circle, talk about it with your circle. If you can donate, Lord willing, if you have it to do, please take your time to do so. These are the type of things that, you know, like I said, unfortunately, above us in our bureaucracy, some things, so many of these things are being taken away uh, from people as a service. So let's be our own service and get behind each other, and help Winfield and Celestial Manna continue to provide what they do to so many people in our region and more. And as we come into the back end of this conversation, Winfield, it's been eye opening, it's been enlightening. I want to give you a moment, brother. Like, is there anything else that you would like to share or discuss that maybe I haven't asked you? I want to give you the floor and the space to go ahead and talk about those things before we close out this great conversation.
No, Damon, I really appreciate it. And it has been a great conversation. I just want to kind of expand on something that you mentioned, the time that we're in right now. I haven't gone to a single distribution in our network where there was food left behind.
Hmm.
More often, there's a line of cars coming into the parking lot. And it's not just people, and God bless them, that are homeless under bridges, but then it's also your at risk people who are deciding, can I pay for groceries and pay for my house note or my
Hmm.
car note? So many people have been laid off from the
Hmm.
government.
Hmm.
People need this right now. This is not the time for programs like this to go underwater. This food would be thrown away, 6 million pounds of it, if we weren't out there actively picking it up and get it into the communities of people who need it.
Hmm.
That's 2 or 3 million people that were able to eat for a day, for 3 meals, that would not have been able to without this service. So, but we need help. We're 100% volunteer. Just about the only people that receive anything, and that's for our fleet operation, and those are our drivers and our back office that's taking the request for food to make sure we can route people to the right distributions across the 5 states. So, you couldn't have been more timely, Damon, in terms of talking about just what's happening in the world right now. And I implore everybody to just look at what's happening in the world right now. And if you've been looking for a way to help, we offer one here. I mean, if I could have a superpower, if I could have a superpower right now in terms of how it would help further this mission to help the people I know need help, and even those I haven't found yet, that we haven't found yet, that we still have yet to reach through growth, it would be the ability to instantly connect with everyone in the world on a profound emotional level and
Hmm.
make this appeal resonate in their heart.
Wow.
Because I believe in the power of people. We do. That's part of our value. We believe in the transformative power of community. We provide everyone access to sustenance. We nourish body and spirit, and we operate with efficiency. And I believe if everyone's heart could just be touched once, there's nothing we couldn't do.
Hmm.
Just getting through this next month or two wouldn't even be the question.
Yeah.
It'd be about where we're going next. It'd be about where we're going on the globe, not just Maryland, D.C., and Virginia. So,
Man, brother, I couldn't have said it any better. In closing, putting a pin in this conversation today. Uh, please, everyone, do what you can. Find it within yourself to be able to connect with others and get out and support Celestial Manna and the work that they're doing. A service that's truly needed, as Winfield said. Before we go, Winfield, I want to allow you also. Can you provide any social media, website information, for our audience that can reach out and actually get behind and support Celestial Manna?
absolutely. We're easy to find. Website www.celestialmanna.org. If you want to email directly, you can do contact@celestialmanna.org. We're on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. You just type Celestial Manna, you will find us. You'll see our posts. You can get in contact quickly. Someone generally will get back to you within 24 hours.
All right. Well, I will make sure we add the LinkedIn and Twitter posts to the show notes. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Another great conversation here on Two Mics Up. A much needed conversation, especially at the timing of what's going on in our world today. I hope you all enjoyed this conversation. And please, again, I cannot implore you anymore to go out and find it within yourself to help those who may be in need that you're not aware of. Do the work of Celestial Manna. Giving goes a long way. And I thank you all. And look, this is Two Mics Up Business Corner. And Two Mics Up, you can follow us across social media, IG, Facebook, Twitter, here in YouTube, at Two Mics Up. You can follow us online at www.twomicsup.com. We're a full-time award-winning talk show. Thank you, Lord. We keep on doing what we do best. We have some of the realest talk with some of the dopest guests, just like we did today with the incredibly talented and man, continued blessings to you, Winfield, and everything that you do personally and through your organization, Celestial Manna. Man, we wish you continued success and growth. I'm Damon Cunningham, and I'm going to leave you all with three things like we do at the end of each and every segment. May you all stay safe, stay blessed, Mike's out.